Hey, are you looking to build a barndominium? Well, if you are, we are in the right spot together because I've got Casey Carpenter here from Timbergate Construction. Did I do that right? Is that the correct name of the
Yep.
business, Casey?
Timbergate Construction. Yes,
Yeah, okay,
that's
here we go. And so Casey is, I got to tell you, if you haven't heard of Casey before, you got to go check his website out. He's building some beautiful homes, and we were just talking about barndominiums in general, and that it's a beautiful home that gets created out of a barndominium. It's a trend that I think is going to be around for a long time because of the functionality and just the aesthetics of what things look like. So we're going to just ask Casey here today, if you're thinking about building a Barndo, where do you start? Like, how do you get things going? Obviously, I like you to start here with me, Michael, with John Michael at michaelmortgageplanning.com to figure out where your finances are at. But Casey, where do you tell people to start?
well. Honestly, that is a good spot to start. Right there, getting pre-qualified. Talking about what your finances, knowing kind of where that budget number is. Once you've got that kind of out of the way, it always helps to have some plan ideas. Whether they've looked at online at some different floor plans, exterior designs, or met with an architect to kind of get some things drawn up. But definitely, no matter what the stage is, we can you start with a phone call to myself, and we can get it going in the right direction. So
Okay. So you mentioned like an architect. If people don't have, like, they know someone, do you have like a list of preferred vendors or people that you work with that, you could say, hey, this is who I'd recommend going to and starting there?
yeah, definitely. We've got a little network of a couple different architects, plan designers, kind of based on the township that you're in, or the building inspector's preference. Sometimes they want an architect stamp drawing on a barn dominium if we're doing like a pole style, just to make sure that it meets the Michigan residential requirements. But definitely we can get you referred over and help with that piece of it. So
Okay. Now what about land? If, let's say, they're brand new, like they just fell in love with the idea of a barn dominium, but they don't even have land. And are there any suggestions you have for folks that are out looking for land? Obviously, maybe one of them is just a question, talking to the local township about zoning and building ordinances to see if it's allowed. But is there anything else that you can think of that would say that's important to think about for a barn?
well, and we've got a few realtors that I've worked with in the past and have a good working relationship with, to kind of get help them in that process too. But it is best to, before you make the offer, to find out, like, hey, what are some of the township requirements? One of the things about a barn dominium is it's kind of a very general term. Are you talking about a pole structure, or are you talking about essentially the same thing as like a slab on grade home, with just the aesthetics looking of a barn. We've done both construction types, whether it was a barn, your post style construction, or the full footing. But that's one of the requirements with Michigan residential code that a lot of the websites that are out of Texas or South don't realize, or don't take into account, is that Michigan requires a continuous frost footing because of our temperature difference. So that's kind of where you get caught up. Like, is it best to do the pole style design, or just do like a continuous footing with having those aesthetics? But if we get it in the design phase, we can direct that and really pretty much as long as it's a residential zoning, we can make it work for them, you know.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And there is a difference. I know when I tell everybody that, you know, not only am I a finance guy, but back in 2018, we built kind of a version of a barn door. We're not living in it, but it's a like a family event gathering space. And we went with, you know, the poured footings and 2x6 conventional framing versus pole style. And it is different, you know, because now you've got, you know, your factors of insulation and, you know, how you're going to run your siding and all those other pieces. So, you know, if anyone's on this, it's really smart to go see Casey ahead of time, and he can guide you through like the advantages, disadvantages to those, you know, from the very beginning. You want to have an early start, you know, jump on that kind of overall plan before you get going. So, so we try to keep these kind of more shorter segments. Casey, what else kind of in conclusion, what would you say, like, what for people to, I mean, maybe here's a good question too. Like a lot of people I know are like, hey, we're looking for a builder that can build a barndominium. What are some questions you tell people to ask, you know, maybe about when they're looking for their builder, you know, red flags that should come up that would say, maybe you want to stay away from that guy? because I know I've run into those. I've been doing this for 30 years. So what are some suggestions you'd have for people about, you know, selecting their builder?
Well, and that's a great question, because it's not necessarily tied to a barndominium. It's tied to any kind of construction.
Right.
But one, you know, you need to have the I don't know, the gut feeling, you know, first off, that that you're going to be able to work with somebody for you know, 9 months, 12 months. You know, this is a kind of a relationship. And then do your homework. You know, anybody in this economy that says, yeah, I can start right away, that should be a huge red flag, because there's a reason that they're not busy. I mean, that should be the biggest red flag. But also ask for references and contact them. You know, I talked to some people. I just finished a house today, and they took ownership, and she sent me this super long text about how great it's been, and how they hit the jackpot because we didn't have any, you know, major issues. And so I need to get her to get that out there on, you know, Google and things like that, instead of just on my text. But don't be afraid if somebody gives you references to call them, because I'm going to ask her if somebody's reaching out, hey, can I pass your number along? You know, and it's an interview process. You're going to give somebody several hundreds of thousands of dollars to build your house. You got to be able to trust them.
Yeah, that is such great advice and information. That's actually a great way to close our segment today. But I do want to just make a mention here, everybody, if you're thinking of looking at a Barndo, you know, Casey is one of these builders out there today that I can tell you, just in the short time that I've known him, he knows his stuff. He's got good information to provide you. He's in the Oakland, Genesee, and Lapeer County kind of area, and he could obviously go through more detail with it. But if you're looking to get in contact with Casey, can you share your contact information for people?
Yeah, it's Casey Carpenter. Phone number 810-790-6210. That's the best way. Website, timbergateconstruction.com. There's a contact us link there that you can hit that, and we will do everything we can to help you out.
Yeah, and you seriously got to go check out his website, because he's got some beautiful homes on there too.
Thank you.
Hey, it's John Michaela with Michaela Mortgage Planning again here, specializing in barndominium construction. Thanks for checking us out. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook. Stay tuned for more great info on barndominiums. Take care. Well, that's it on that part, Keys. I'm just going to turn the recording part off here for a second. So.